Tonight,
Once again, it's time for Masterclass.
facing the truth of why we overeat.
Ask yourself the question, why am I eating right now? Am I really hungry? Maybe I'm just bored.
How to stay safe from takeaway temptations.
You won't come home from a little trip with extra baggage with that one.
And meet the ultimate inspiration.
There was no signs of life. I was just lying there.
Mountaineer Lincoln Hall.
He could see that I was about to die.
I look forward to Masterclass every week. You know, knowledge is power, and really it's setting us up for when we leave Camp Biggest Loser.
Hi guys.
Hi, Hayley.
Hey, Hayley.
Once again, it's time for Masterclass. This is a time to think about yourselves because in the real world, it'll just be you. And the big question is, how are you going to keep yourselves on track when you're at home? How do you take the fantastic start that you've made here and run with it in the real world? Well, that's what Masterclass is all about, to put you in the hands of experts who will teach you some important life skills. So, without further ado, let's get Masterclass underway. Here are your trainers, Shannan and Michelle.
All right, gang, well, welcome back to another Masterclass training session. Now, in last week's training session, we spoke about the core. In particular, we were talking about the front. This week, we're still talking about core, but we're speaking mostly about the back and how to strengthen that area. Now, everybody needs a strong core, from picking up groceries to picking up their kids or even getting in and out of the car. And if you find that you have experienced back strain in the past, then it's probably going to be related to the fact that you haven't had much strength in this area.
Now, you need extra focus on your core because you are going to be running a marathon. With every step you take in running, more than 3 times your body weight is shot up through your body and through your core.
Okay, so core exercises or core strengthening exercises really can be done anywhere. You don't have to go to a gym to do them. In fact, you could do one very simply by sitting on a Fitball behind your desk and start working on strengthening front and back. Now, Shannan said to me, Jana, that you've had some lower back pain in the past. So I'm going to get you to sit on a Fitball, see if we can improve your posture, and then I'm going to ask you to do that for the rest of the session. Sure. Have a seat. I'll get you to sit side on. So turn around and take a sit on the ball. Great. Think of a piece of string attached to the top of your head and it just being pulled upwards. So you're going to draw in through the abs. You can lift the chest to separate the rib cage. You get those shoulders to come back and down. And instead of having your chin outwards, we're going to pull it slightly in and you're looking straight ahead. So we're trying to get what's called a neutral spine. And by just doing that already, you're starting to switch on these muscles and helping to protect your back. So, how do you feel about sitting on the ball for the rest of the session?
I'm up for it.
All right, well, I'm going to get you to stand up, roll the ball back to where you were.
Okay.
And I'll be checking in on you, so if I see any of this or that,
Okay.
I'll be letting you know. It'll be 20 push-ups.
Okay, I'm on it.
Okay, well, Shannan and I are going to show you a few really easy exercises. Well, maybe not so easy, but certainly exercises that you can do at home to help strengthen both the lower and the upper part of your back, even glutes and hamstrings, so pretty much everything behind you. So hit the deck, Shan. So the first exercise, really simple, that you can do at home, you don't need to be at a gym anyway, you don't need any equipment, is focusing on pulling the abdominals up towards your spine. So I'm going to ask Shannan to pull his belly button up towards his spine. So straight away his core is switched on. Keeping his feet anchored on the floor, and you'll notice that we've got a neutral spine. His chin is pulled in. I'm going to ask him to slowly lift his chest, just maybe an inch or half an inch off the floor. You notice that he's keeping his hands on the ground, so this is the beginner level, and lower down. To make it a little harder, we add some weight to it. The weight is his arms. So again, the feet stay on the floor, up he comes. Everything's in neutral, chin pulled in, long through the spine, really working and lowering down. It's that easy. Let's do this now on a Fitball. Thanks, Shan. So it's exactly the same exercise, except now I've got a larger range of movement. Now the beginner option, hands on the floor. And importantly, notice where my chin is. I'm not looking out, which adds strain to my neck. I'm keeping my chin pulled in and lowering down and up.
It's that same adage, someone's pulling a string through here. Michelle's still got a nice long back.
Okay, to make it a bit harder, I've now got a bit more weight to use.
Still nice full range of motion. She's going right down, let that back open up, and then squeezing up. But no, not too high. Well, let's take that, Mish, to the next level a little bit harder. Come up to the top for me. And now I want you to squeeze your elbows back like you're doing a lat pull down. So remember, we're trying to work it back. So go back down for me and down. So we've got all these muscles here, which are called your erector spinae. Now she's going to come up and she's squeezing these muscles through here, which are your rhomboids, and back down. So basically now we've got every part of her back muscle working from here to here. Up, lower back, squeeze shoulder blades, and back down. As these muscles get stronger, the chance of them being relaxed and allowing you to hump forward is much less.
All right, so there's a number of different variations that you can do with the fit ball. They're just a few of the basics. You can play around with it. It is a lot of fun working on the ball. Now, there's also a couple of extra exercises which I love, and I do a lot with my clients, without a ball. So the first one I'm going to get Shannan to demonstrate. If you can come down onto your knees and hands for me. This is one of my all-time favourite exercises for your core because not only it works your back, it also works underneath. Fantastic exercise. So again, coming with opposite arm and leg, I'm going to get Shannan to take it slowly out and then slowly back in, but without touching the ground. In he goes, out he goes again. Good. Again, he doesn't try to lift his leg too high. Everything's kept pretty neutral. And because now he's having to maintain balance, it means he's having to recruit his stomach muscles as well. I'm now going to up the ante by asking him to take the leg diagonally out and the arm diagonally out, but the body stays still. So that just makes it even harder again. He's really, how are you feeling that?
Yeah, it's good.
It's really making him work his core, his glutes, hamstrings, upper and lower back. It's great. So there's many variations that you can do from this one. And then, of course, you just swap and do the other side. If I had to give office workers one exercise, this would be it, because it's working both the back and the core, or the front of the core. Yeah? Good? Great exercise. You can do that one at home while you're watching TV, in amongst the commercials.
Let's put the deal together. The same as all our muscular training, we're going to keep it simple. 2 or 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps, 2 or 3 times a week. It's that simple. The muscles in your back are muscles the same as they are anywhere else in your body. So let's train them the same way.
So, Jana, how are we going?
I'm on it. It hurts, though.
Are you feeling it now?
Oh, yeah.
It's only been like a few minutes and already you're starting to feel that you're working. Just goes to show you can be sitting on a fit ball behind your desk and still getting a good little workout.
So that's it for training class today. That's something that everybody can take a little bit out of and insert it in their day-to-day life. Today's message is for everyone, whether you're an athlete, a mother, or you sit behind a desk all day.
Later, the biggest loser reaches the dizzy
You
heights
certainly know you're on the summit of Everest. You can see forever.
with a story of incredible courage.
Sometime in the middle of the night, I woke up suddenly, totally lucid, and on the edge of a cliff. I couldn't find my pack because the Sherpas had taken it because I was dead, and dead guys don't need packs.
But next, planning a strategy for food on the run.
There's 553 calories in that. Wow. So I'm going to make a chicken and pumpkin salad mountain bread wrap with just over half the calories at 330. Welcome back to the kitchen.
Thanks, Janella.
Oh, you've had a big week, I know you have, but I hope you've got some room for some more cooking tips.
Always.
Because you know that once you're at home, the key to maintaining your weight loss is to eat healthy meals, but also to control your portion sizes. And that's easy to do when you're at home, but once you step outside of that front door, there's a world of danger out there. Once you go to school, once you go to work, once you go for a weekend away and pass all those takeaway joints, then you're at the mercy of the takeaway shops or the restaurants, and we don't want that. So what I've got here is one of the most ordered things in Australia. Chris, do you want to come up and give me a hand today? What do you guys think is the most commonly ordered sandwich in Australia? Caitlin.
Ham, cheese, tomato.
Hey, ham, cheese and tomato is right. And a toasty ham, cheese and tomato at that. Blech. And
I used to think that'd be a healthy option, you know. Being a truck driver, you try and get something on the run for smoker, and you see the tomato and you go, yeah, that's healthy.
See the tomato.
Eating healthy today.
How many of those would you have?
Normally one, but with a chocolate milk or something to wash it down with.
Well, people do, you know, because you know what it is. It's bread and it's cheese and it's ham, so you think that it's okay, but it's not. So, Chris, what do you reckon? What do you think is adding to the calories in that?
Your white bread.
Yeah.
The butter on the bread, the cheese. Yeah, I'd probably say about 290.
Well, what do you guys? You reckon around 290?
More than that.
Jana?
Yeah, I'm estimating about 250.
Yeah.
240, 250.
There's 553 calories in that.
Wow.
No. So today, I'm going to show you how to make a healthy alternative with just over half the calories at 330. So I'm going to make a chicken and pumpkin salad mountain bread wrap. So, Chris, can you pop over to the fridge and grab the chicken out, please? So I want to put some protein, some salad, some vegetables in my wrap, and I don't want it too soggy. Thanks. So chicken, I'm going to make for 4, so I've got 600 grams here. I'm going to just slice it through the middle to make the cooking time faster, because we don't want it too fat anyway for the wraps. Chris, can you give me about a teaspoon quick spray over that? That really is a teaspoon. My teaspoons tend to be a little bit longer spraying, so that's good. Do you want to put those on there?
Yep.
So we're going to char grill our chicken, basically. Lovely. So if you've got leftover barbecue chicken, take the skin off, of course, and you can use that. OK, Chris, could you pass me the pumpkin, please? I'm going to cook the pumpkin in the pan. So same deal with the olive oil, about a teaspoon.
Yep.
And I'm going to use about 1.5 cups. And you know I like to keep the skin on, lots of zinc. OK, so about 1.5 cups. See how finely I sliced that? Because we want it to cook really quickly. That won't take but a moment. We just want it to brown. You can put it in the grill, you can put it in the oven, just cook it, basically. OK, great, let's turn that all the way up though. We want that hot. We can put a little bit of pepper on that now. You can put herbs and spices, as we learnt, like thyme, oregano, depending what flavours you want.
Garlic.
Garlic. I thought I'd give you a break from the garlic today. Well, just for this recipe anyway. Chris, can you pass me the mountain bread, please? And the second breadboard from underneath there. Yeah, that one, great. This is mountain bread. It's your friend. How many calories, Chris?
70.
Soft, nice, not hard, crunchy. There's a little bit of wheat in mountain bread. This is a really old, traditionally made flatbread. It's been used for centuries in different countries around the world. This is really easy to digest and great for food on the go. So while Chris is doing that, I'm going to get the avocado. So avocado, a medium-sized avo, has got about 31 grams of fat, so it's mostly fat. I'm going to use half an avocado for 4, so we get an 1/8.
Would avocado be something that you'd only use in maintenance?
Yes. Use it instead of butter. Avocado is really high in monounsaturated fat, which is a really good fat, like olive oil. So it's really good for your heart, reduces your risk of heart disease. Plus, it's beautiful for your skin. OK, so we're going to spread that on the bottom. And then how's they going, Chris?
She's got a bit of pink.
So maybe while we're waiting for that, do you want to pass the cucumbers? I'm going to bulk it up with some nice veggies, cucumber, all the other things. OK, take the end off. I like to leave the skin on, as you know. Down the middle, nice and skinny. Give it a nice crunch.
So these are going to be great with chicken.
Well, that's why I called you up, because I knew that you'd prefer the chicken, Chris.
Turn this off, you reckon?
Yeah, turn that off. Maybe some the red onion now too, Chris. Thank you. OK, so this is a nice alternative to a big fatty sandwich, and I think, you know, for years we've just been packing sandwiches on road trips, haven't we? But we don't really want to do that anymore. So mountain bread is a nice thing to include in your shopping list.
Will this go soft when it's ready?
I think that's about ready. Pierce it with the knife. If the knife goes through, it's ready.
Beautiful.
Lovely. It's really nice to cook veggies just like that, really thin. Bring them out with your tongs and put them straight on. Nice. Maybe they go that way, Chris.
The great thing about making your own sandwiches is it's really cost effective. If you were to go out and buy a bunch of sandwiches, say on a road trip, you stop at a takeaway shop, get a bunch of sandwiches, you probably end up spending in excess of $20 or more. Whereas if you added this up, it'd be less. So it's not only better for you, but you're saving money as well.
Okay, ready, Chris? Yep. All right, chicken on here. And I'm just going to slice them through the middle. Beautifully cooked. Nearly there. And Chris, can you get the baby spinach? You always want greens, always want dark green leafies to help process the fat. And snow pea sprouts. Sprouts are really, really good for you. Once a grain or a grass is sprouted, it increases the nutrients out of sight. Everything you need just about in there. And it's not rabbit food, so don't think that. Because I knew I could just read your mind, then going, bleh. It's yummy. It gives a nice fresh taste to it. How are you with rolling? Are you to be trusted? The first one needs to be quite tight, but not really tight.
Yep.
Nice. Great. Almost. Great. Lovely. The next one? Some people use 2 because they split. Sometimes you don't need to use 2.
Yeah, no, yeah, mine broke.
Doesn't matter. So if when you go out, on a road trip, wraps. Okay, Chris, taste test time. Quick, easy, yummy.
Is pull out.
No.
Come on, Chris.
Chris, eat it.
Get out.
You ate fish last week. What do you think?
Good. Good. Definitely tastes the avocado.
Yeah, good.
I like it.
Okay, good. That's 330 calories. Takes about 10 minutes to prepare, and you won't come home from a little trip with extra baggage with that one.
Coming up, fine footy fare.
Oh, you ripper.
He loves a dog's eye, oh, Wayne.
Real men do eat quiche.
Because, you know, men at the footy, what else are they going to want to eat except quiche? So in today's masterclass, we're learning how to prepare food before we leave the house, food on the go. So Wayne, you look like a kind of bloke that might go to the footy.
Yes, I do, yeah.
So underneath here we have got...
Oh, you ripper.
That's a miss.
You ripper!
He loves a dog's eye, oh, Wayne.
How many calories do you reckon, Wayne?
450.
I think probably that's generally right. That's a king size.
Yeah.
And there's about 500 calories
500.
in that. And it's not just the calories, it's everything that's in there. There's like anti-caking agent, there's hydrolyzed vegetable protein, there's canola oil, there's sugar, there's salt, there's lots of salt. There's really nasty meat stuff
Lean
in
mince?
there.
Lean mince?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
So, Janella, what you're saying is you're better off actually eating the football rather than eating the pie.
You might digest the football a little bit better than the meat pie, probably.
Right. Gotcha.
So you're going to think twice about eating. Look, the face, he's still going, hello, old friend. Not your friend.
No.
But what we are going to make is an alternative that you're going to have in your bag instead of lining up at the footy to get yucky, processed, stodgy foods. So we're going to make quiche.
I don't want
Because,
quiche.
you know, men at the footy, what else are they going to want to eat except quiche? So let's start. I'm going to use spring onions, but you can use anything you want. If you want to use onion or leek, anything oniony. So I'm going to chop the ends off and use the white parts in the pan. Do you want to give me about a teaspoon of olive oil in the pan, please, Wayne?
Wayne, it's not fly spray, son.
No, I don't need that. I didn't say anything when he was cooking.
Oh, no. You didn't, did you? No.
I said a teaspoon. That's Wayne's teaspoon.
You don't mind a bit extra?
Yeah. Okay, now some garlic. Now, sometimes when you're in a rush and you just decide that you're going out, you don't always have time to get all your ingredients. So you can use some bottled minced garlic or ginger. You won't have all the good properties, the antioxidants and the antibacterial, but you get the flavour. So we're going to give the spring onions and the garlic a little stir. Now, I don't think many of you are going to like this, but this is where I'm going to add some flavour. Can you pass me the anchovies, please?
Oh, what are you doing?
I'm killing you, Chris. I'm killing you. He's just going, what are you doing to me? Well, they're only about 8.5 calories each. Ooh. They are high in sodium, so you have to account for that in there. But when you put them in now, they will melt. So you won't taste them. You'll just get a nice little salty flavour in there. So let them melt. And just dissolve. There's anchovies in so many things. And the omega-3 has been proven to help weight loss because the oil will keep you full for longer. This is a corn on the cob. So a lot of people don't use corn, they get tinned corn. So that's how you do it. Easy? Do you want to chew on that?
No, that's all right, I'll put it away.
Okay. It's good for your gums and your teeth to chew on the cob. Okay, broccoli. I showed you with the cauliflower last week how to get the florets off. So you just run a little knife underneath and you want to use the stem. So this is hard. So you want to trim the yucky bits off and then chop this quite small. Okay, so just chop it finely.
I normally chuck that away, is that all right?
Yeah, I know. Lots of people normally throw that away, but there's so many nutrients in that. It's really, really good for you.
Chopping it finely, is that so that it cooks evenly and easily?
And quick, because we're making little baby quiches, I want everything little in here, because the little baby quiches will fall apart if you don't. How's that smelling to you?
Oh, sensational. I've got no idea.
Okay, so I've got half a big head of broccoli, or that's a small one. There, so I used the whole head. Okay.
Yep.
So some mushies. I've got 1 cup of mushies. Good fibre, good B vitamins.
Would you put things such as lean ham and those sort of things through it as well, possibly?
Absolutely. I'm going to use cannellini beans, legumes, so high protein, which... Thank you, sir.
No worries.
Have a little taste.
I've never eaten these before.
Yeah, that's why I thought I'd have a taste. Chew and see.
Yeah, they're all right.
Yeah, they're not offensive. They're so good for you. They're one of the foods they recommend for longevity, and they clean all your digestive tract out. Great to keep your blood sugar even. Okay, mush him.
Pour them into now.
Yep.
We're ready.
In. And then 180 grams of tuna. How many calories is in that? What do you reckon?
About 180.
Yeah, exactly. Gram per gram. Large tin. This is going to make 12 quiches. So each little quiche is going to be 80 calories. Nothing. So give that a really good mix around because we don't have any salt added in there except for the anchovies. So you want to add flavour from things like herbs. About a cup of mixed herbs. I'm going to put some parsley in. A cup of mixed herbs has got about 10 calories. So go to town on them. Parsley, mint. I'm going to put some basil in too. You happy with how that's looking?
Yeah, it's really good. There is some green in this.
There's a lot of green in that, and that's what I want. In. Basil. Okay. 2 eggs, only 2 eggs for the whole tray of 12. You can put 3 or 4 eggs in if you want to. It will give you more chance of them holding together. But, you know, we're watching our egg intake, so we use 2.
There we go.
Okay, give him a good stir.
Yeah, I'm in it.
What we're going to do is pile them in. So when you put them in, squish them down.
Does look very healthy.
Looks very, that's the point.
One more.
And the good thing about, here, this one, these two, there's no pastry, so you're losing a lot of calories not putting phyllo in there or puff pastry. They are going into the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes, not for very long, because they're cooked. The egg just needs to cook, and you just want to brown them a little bit. So 180 degrees, check them after 10 minutes. Okay, let's have a look at the oven. I put some in before. So, because there's not a whole lot of egg in there, they're not going to be as firm. So you have to be very gentle with them. Oh, you're helpful.
There you go.
Thank you. So you get your knife and run them around the edge, like that, and out they come. Nice. And 4, I think 4 for you, Wayne?
4?
Yeah. Well, that's 320 calories. It's still not very much, is it? But they're going to fill you up. OK, Wayne, you're going to put that into your lunchbox and pull it out of your bag at the footy, and you're going to be proud of that. And you're going to think, well, you know, real men do eat quiche, especially at the footy. Can I have a taste?
Yeah, I'll try.
See, they're not as firm, but so don't expect them to be. A lot of flavour. Heaps of different things.
I like it.
Herbs?
The herbs, the green stuff you got, it's really got a strong sort of smell.
So 2 great ideas. They're so versatile, you can use a lot of those tips in lots of different meals. So just have a little bit of planning before you step out the door, then you're going to avoid all those calories from nasty takeaway food.
Next, an inspirational story.
Reaching the summit of Everest was an amazing thing, but the really fantastic part of it is what I learned afterwards, like that whole experience of surviving that night, of being able to push through the impossible.
And contestants turn inventors on the Masterclass Challenge.
You can create a full training circuit from things you have around your house, shed and garage.
Now, we've got a special treat for you today. This is going to blow your mind. Our guest today is one of Australia's most well-known mountaineers, and he has climbed to the top of the world's biggest mountain, Mt Everest. Not only that, but this survivor went down in the death zone and is the only person to live through such an ordeal. This man is going to be a wealth of information on what it takes to be a survivor, and once again, what it takes to battle against the odds and win. Our guest today is none other than Lincoln Hall. Guys, if you can make him welcome, please. Welcome.
Thanks.
Well, Lincoln, thank you very much for joining us, mate.
My pleasure.
So you're standing on top of Everest.
Yeah.
A lifetime dream, the highest point on Earth. How was the feeling? I can't imagine. That's got to be the greatest thing ever.
Well, you certainly know you're on the summit of Everest. Everything you can see forever. Yeah. And if you look up, it looks, I don't know why I looked up, but I looked up and it was dark. You know, I mean, not dark, but the sky was really deep blue, and you sort of felt that if you stepped off, you'd float up. And of course you wouldn't, and I wasn't going to do that. That's when I realised that this really was the limit of what you can achieve, what humans can achieve.
On the Earth, yeah.
And it's just one of those amazing quirks of fate that Mount Everest is just high enough to give climbers who get to the summit a total body, mind and soul whip.
Yeah,
Any higher and you wouldn't get there. So it's just one of those amazing coincidences that the world
How long were you
has.
on the summit for?
Well, only 20 minutes. And the reason we turned back after 20 minutes is because the ridge leading up to the final summit on the northeast ridge is quite narrow and icy. And we're up there on the summit, and we could see the climbers who'd been behind us were now coming up because we'd stopped moving, they were getting closer. And I thought, well, we've got to get down out of this narrow, slippery bit before they come up, otherwise we'll get stuck up there in a sort of like a traffic jam. And I knew, as soon as I got to the top, the most important thing was getting down. And what happened, I remember coming down a slope and we had a rope there on a little steep bit, and I was just unclipping from one anchor to another anchor on the rope, and I just sort of was in the snow, and then I sort of passed out. And it wasn't just exhaustion, it was cerebral edema. And cerebral edema is where you get fluid retention within your skull. And your skull, of course, doesn't expand. And so it puts pressure on your brain and makes you go delirious and puts pressure on the top of your spinal cord. And basically, the only way to survive that at extreme altitude is to descend, and descend very quickly. Yeah. And,
so you still had oxygen on at this time?
I did, yes.
And what height was that?
Well, I was only probably 50 metres below the summit. And there came to a point, there's a particular cliff called the second step, and that's the hardest part of the climb on the north side of Everest. Whether you're going up or down, that second step is the hardest. And it's where a lot of people turn back, a lot of people died there. But what happened to me was, I guess, 30 years of climbing mountains, and the instinct kicked in that, Lincoln, you really got to focus on this. You really got to get this one right. And so I managed to abseil down the cliff, and there's a huge pulse of adrenaline, because I was suddenly flying down and seeing this huge drop, and suddenly I was totally lucid again, totally exhausted still. And so that shot of adrenaline, I think, kept me going, I don't know, maybe it was half an hour or an hour. But it got me to the point where I got to 8,600 metres, which doesn't sound, it's not much lower. And when I got to that point, I wanted to talk to the Sherpas, and I knew what I wanted to say, but then I found I couldn't even speak. And I went off, what happened to me was I actually went off into a whole bunch of hallucinations. But meanwhile, the two Sherpas I was with, there was no pulse that they could feel. There was no sense of breath. One of them poked me in the eye, and I was just lying there glassy-eyed.
So the expedition leader is under the impression that you're gone?
Yeah, and in fact, the Sherpas had to leave me because there was no signs of life. I was just lying there, and it was very easy for the expedition leader to believe that I had died because there'd been another, on that whole season, 11 people had died, and I was going to be number 12. And in fact, the word went out to the world that I was gone, and that included my family.
So they're on the way down after 19 hours.
I'm left for dead, sun setting.
You're left for dead with the sun going down?
Yeah, beautiful sunset.
Beautiful.
Well, you know, we all like a nice sunset. Sometime in the middle of the night, I've got no idea when, pitch black, I woke up suddenly, totally lucid, and there was I could feel this swirling of wind going around like this, and which instantly meant that I was on the edge of a cliff, and I was feeling around like that, and I couldn't get any grip. I couldn't find my pack. Well, I couldn't find my pack because the Sherpas had taken it because I was dead, and dead guys don't need packs. And I was feeling totally disoriented, and I was feeling around like this, and then I realised the reason I was disoriented because I couldn't feel anything, and the reason I couldn't feel anything because all my fingers were frozen like wood, and that's exactly what they felt like the end of my fingers were wood.
So what did it come down to? Did you say, well, I'm going to fight like hell to get down this mountain?
Well, no, what happened was, as with any really difficult challenge that you face, you're not going to get anywhere unless you take the first step. And you don't know if the first step's going to get you anywhere until you take the second step. Well, my first step was to get through the night. Now, that sounds pretty easy, but I knew that if I even just went like that, then I would have just drifted off, and it would have been so comfortable and warm. However, at that point, there was no way I was going to just let myself drift off. So, and the real driver for me to make that first step was the fact that I had to get back to my family. This is the number one goal of my expeditions, always, is I come back. And so what I had to do was find a way that I could stay awake. And the way I did that was to have to make a decision because I had nothing else to use. I mean, I couldn't even feel my hands. I couldn't even count with them because I couldn't feel them. So what I ended up doing is I just went like this and stopped. And then I went like that, and then I stopped. And then I just kept doing that. And it sounds pretty easy, but what it meant was I was making the decision, I'll stop now, or I'll go a bit faster, or I'll do this, make it a real slow one. And I think, ironically, the reason that I survived is because my brain was so compromised, and with the shortage of oxygen and the edema, my brain could only cope with so much. And I set it with this one goal, and the one goal was just to keep doing this.
So you broke it down into small, manageable chunks. You went, right, survive the night, next goal, base camp.
Yeah. And so what happened, I don't know how long during the night that went on for, but I know that first thing in the morning, 4 guys came up, and it was just getting light. And these were the last climbers to be attempting Everest that season. And they'd been told to expect my death. And there I was, and I wasn't dead.
Sitting cross-legged rocking on the cliff face.
Yes, that's right. And what I said to them, which was really not indicative of my mental state, what I said to them was, I imagine you're surprised to see me here. And of course they were totally gobsmacked. And one of them started to cry because he could see that I was about to die. I mean, reaching the summit of Everest was an amazing thing, but the really fantastic part of it is what I learned afterwards, like that whole experience of surviving that night, of being able to push through what effectively was the impossible.
What was it that kept you driving through that? Like, where does that come from? It's, to me, superhuman. I mean,
Well, I think what it means is we can all do a lot more than we think we can. But you have to believe in it. It's not much, you don't just tell yourself, you've got to believe in it. And
you hear that, guys? There's a difference.
Yeah.
There's a massive difference, isn't
there is, yeah.
Between doing and thinking.
Yeah, because if I just said to myself, I'll get through the night, you know, it was like, definitely, I am going to get through the night because that's the one thing I can do. What I can do after that, I've got no idea, but I'm not going to get anywhere if I can get this first one out of the way.
Control the controllable, see?
Yeah, control the controllable. And so, and at that point, that's as far as I got. What lay beyond that was uncontrollable for me, and that's when those amazing guys came up and looked after me.
All right, mate, well, I was wondering how you'd feel about having a little go on our climbing wall we've set up over the back there.
That'd be great.
I'd love you just to show the contestants that with guts and determination against the odds and even with the injuries that you sustained, that you can still get back to something you love, that if people say you can't do it, that you can buck the system and do it.
Okay, well, let's see how we go. Okay.
All right, guys, let's get this in perspective. Now, Lincoln has about 60% use in his fingers and his hands. How many toes have you got missing altogether, mate?
Its easiest way is I've only got 3 toenails to cut.
Oh,
so,
wow.
So that, guys, is quite incredible, isn't it?
It's amazing.
All right, buddy, come down.
Oh. Here we go. That's great. Thank you. That's great.
Lincoln, thank you so much for coming. Mate, you're an absolute inspiration. And I can tell by the look on all the contestants' faces, they've picked up a heap from you too. Guys, Lincoln, thanks very much, mate.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's been a great pleasure.
Next, Life After Loser with Dr. Norman Swan.
One of the biggest drivers in terms of keeping that weight off is your head, the psychology. What drives you? What are the factors that make you eat? What might help you to stop eating? Well, hi everybody. You're looking fantastic as each week goes by. Now, as you know, these masterclasses are not about the competition. They're about the competition after the competition, the game after the competition. What's life going to be like? And one of the biggest drivers in terms of keeping that weight off is your head, the psychology. What drives you? What are the factors that make you eat? What might help you to stop eating? What are the tricks? To help us through that, we've got a health psychologist from the University of New South Wales who's done a lot of research into the psychology of eating. Please welcome Dr. Lenny Vartanian. Welcome, Lenny.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for coming on. So, you've been living this now for a few weeks. What triggers have you recognised in your past life? Lisa, have you thought about what drives you or drove you before you came here in terms of eating?
I'm an emotional eater, but I eat every emotion, you know, whether I'm happy, sad, depressed, whatever, it's an opportunity to eat.
Is that something that's been like that from when you were a kid as well? Has it always been the case? And is that a family thing? Is everybody emotional eaters?
No, probably not as much as I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Common story, Lenny?
Sure. Sometimes you have people who eat for emotional reasons. I eat when I'm sad, I eat when I'm happy, but it's something I do in response to my feeling.
But people watching this will say, look, that's an excuse. These people just have weak wills. All they need to do is stop eating.
But it's not all just about willpower, and it's not all sort of a moral weakness, and I think that's the problem with this idea of willpower, is that we chalk it up to a moral weakness. Self-control is something that we all can exercise to certain degrees, but when that self-control is exercised over and over and over again, and it just kind of drains, then it's hard to control yourself in certain situations.
Ricky, what's driven you to overeat?
Before I got here, I didn't know I was a emotional eater. I didn't even know what that was. So I went through some stuff in the beginning of the year, like my girlfriend had a miscarriage, so that was pretty tough on me and her. And instead of dealing with things, I just went and got some food and pretty much covered it up. So it's good to know that I know what emotional eating is now. So
if getting heavy because you were eating for emotional reasons helped you survive something that you might not otherwise have survived, maybe your relationship would have fallen apart if you didn't do what you did, then that's what you had to do. But you're beyond that now. And what are you going to do to turn it around, right? So you know that food isn't the answer now. You know that there are going to be emotional situations that you have to deal with by talking to somebody, whether it be talking to your girlfriend or talking to family or a friend or someone who's a professional, and deal with things in a healthy way.
Phoebe, what are the things that drive you or drove you before you came here?
I've got quite a lot of sort of cousins and grandparents and all that kind of thing, and we get together, say, every couple of weeks, and you know, one member from one side of the family would cook the meat and someone else would do the salad and someone else would do potatoes, and then someone would, you know, maybe all of us would do desserts. They'd be
This is like a football game. You're competing with each other.
Every family occasion that I have, it's all based around food, you know. We don't go out and play a game of soccer or anything like that. We go and eat.
You know, food is enjoyable, and social activities involving food are enjoyable, and they have been forever. But it's how you set up that situation that can influence whether or not you overdo it. You don't have to have enough food to feed twice as many people as you're inviting over for dinner. So on the one hand, we're saying, when we go over to someone's house and they fix us a meal, if we say no to thirds, then we're insulting the cook. On the other hand, we have the cook saying, I need to prepare enough food so that my guests don't feel hungry, that they don't go without. So you as the cook, you prepare too much food, then your guests feel obliged to not insult you. If everybody just had a conversation beforehand and said, okay, let's agree to just have enough food, won't worry about having too much.
So let's talk about strategies. What's the general set of strategies that people should be employing to keep their weight down or lose weight? Because it could, I mean, what you're talking about here is a bit like being an alcoholic, is that it doesn't, you've got to maintain that self-control all the time.
Yes.
So what's the strategy for that?
The number one thing, just in every single case, it comes down to planning. Planning in advance. When you show up in a situation and you're left at that moment to try and sort things out, you're already in trouble.
David, you got plans for what you're going to do for your behaviour when you go home?
Well, after this, my strategy is really to get rid of the junk out of the house. I mean, I've always been one of these people that if it's in the house, I've got to eat it. You know, if there's a packet of chips there, it won't last long. And since not having that temptation here...
But you're going to go back to that temptation. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, but I guess the thing is, it's just getting it out of the house. If it's not in the house, you can't eat it.
What other strategies do people have? Shannan, what's your strategy for when you go home, for your head rather than your tummy?
The main strategy for me is just to know that I've learned everything I can here, but I also want to know that I can go out to a restaurant and sit with people that are eating food I'm not allowed to, or that I can be around people eating junk food and not be tempted by that. So I think that's going to be a real test when I get out of here, to not give in to that.
When you do go out to restaurants, you want to be able to go to any restaurant with your friends, your family, and enjoy a good meal. But 90% of the time, you're going to get a meal that is 2-3 times the size of what any reasonable person should be eating in that situation. And what do you do then? As soon as the meal arrives, ask the waiter to split it in half, pack half of it up, and you take it home. You have lunch for the next day. When you think you're eating because you're hungry, check it out. Ask yourself the question, why am I eating right now? Am I really hungry? When's the last time I ate? Maybe I'm emotional. Maybe I'm just bored. Right? You can look at the world around you. Who are the people who are pushing food on me? What are the situations that are really difficult for me? And plan accordingly.
Lenny, thank you very much indeed.
You're very welcome.
Great.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks
Thank
very much.
Lenny Bartani.
Thanks, guys.
So the message is, know yourself, know what drives you, and then have strategies to deal with it, and plan ahead. Be nice to be a person who doesn't have to do that, but none of us here are those kinds of people. We've got to plan ahead and think about what we eat and how we exercise. So, good luck. See you next time.
Next, things to do on a rainy day.
Sit on the couch, watch DVDs.
Or construct your own gym.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh.
The weather wasn't cooperating with us for this week's Masterclass challenge, so we had to go inside.
Hi guys.
Hi, Hayley.
Well, it's time for this week's Masterclass challenge. Clearly, it's a day to be indoors. The heavens have opened up and it's pouring outside. So what would you normally do if you were stuck indoors? Sit on the couch, watch DVDs? Well, how about hitting the gym? A day like today is perfect for burning off calories, and you don't need expensive equipment to do it. You can create a full training circuit from things you have around your house, shed and garage. And that's exactly what you'll be doing in today's challenge. Contestants, take a look around you. All this worthless stuff is at your disposal. You're going to turn it into a home gym to give yourselves a total body workout. To begin, each couple will be assigned one area of the body to work on. Your job is to create 2 exercises designed to work the muscles of that body part. In the end, we'll have a complete training circuit made up of 6 stations. And once it's all ready, you'll be putting it to the test. Now, once again, the prized Masterclass shield is up for grabs. Rick and Joe, you've held it for 2 weeks straight now, so who's going to pry it from their hands? Well, to win today, you need to impress the judges, Shannan and Michelle. Whoever's station is judged to be the best will be today's winner. Now remember, Shannan and Michelle will be looking for creativity and how well your station works, its target body area.
OK, one person from the red team first, please. OK, red team, arms. Team yellow. The yellow team, Dana and Caitlin, have got legs. OK, team purple, Lisa and Jana have got shoulders.
Make it good.
Dynamic core.
You don't pick again.
Phil and Dave, grey team, have got chest. Thank goodness, mate. I think that's about the only thing for your body that's working.
Last one, Rick.
Oh, yeah. Champions coming through.
We saved you guys to last.
Surprised.
Rick and Joe have got back.
We've just come out of a masterclass where we focus on the back, so you should have some things already rolling around in your mind. And I think for all of you, this will be a test, not only on how well you can put together a circuit, but also how well you know your muscle groups and what are the best exercises to hit those muscles specifically.
The rules are simple. You've got 15 minutes. The exercises must be safe, efficient, and effective. Your time starts now. Go.
Gang, you've done enough workouts with both Shannan and I to really know what you can do, you know, the good, basic, solid exercises.
Back at home, my folks are definitely hoarders. They've got everything. If you need something, you go to my mum's place. So all the stuff that they had there, I could definitely relate it to back at home.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So you use the bags, I reckon, for the first one. Okay. And then you can do up, out, down.
And then depending on how much weight.
Depends on how many bottles.
Yep, okay.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Stop the pulley to the weight to a handle. And you pull down.
Pull on there.
I am a bit of a handyman. I don't mind making things when I need to, so we thought of the main gym equipment you'd use at a gym to work your back, and we
we got a bar.
come up with the same sort of thing, just with a bit of junk, using ropes and pulleys and a few sand buckets.
Oh, my goodness, girls. Are you doing what I think you're doing?
Uh-huh.
Nice. So you're thinking cardio.
Yeah.
Rather than just pure strength training.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Oh, yeah. I like it.
Do you reckon that'll work if I zip tie them around?
Okay, gang, you're halfway there. So you have around about 7 minutes to go. Put it together.
All right, boys.
I feel very good.
Ah, look at that.
We're trying to do like a bench here, Shannan. And
I'd like to think I was a real handy man. Sometimes, though, my wife asks me to do things, and as much as I have a go at them, sometimes they end up worse than what they were before I started.
That's fantastic. That's like a dead set of bench press straight out of the prison yard.
Hurry up, gang, put it together. What do you reckon?
The girls have almost finished over there with their legs.
Yeah, and you know what? I like the fact that they've done a cardio
Agility.
exercise.
The
Agility.
only one.
Yeah, because everyone else is thinking strength.
That is a fantastic piece of equipment in a home gym.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
You can do your back,
It's brilliant.
you can do pull downs, you can do rows.
This is really clever because not only are they thinking about the muscle groups that they're having to work, but they're showing that you can actually use anything. And I'm an old school girl. I love old school training.
I'd rather be outside any day.
Yeah.
Guys, there's 1 minute to go only. Make sure it's safe, effective, and efficient. That's the rules.
Step up, yeah?
Yeah.
Guys.
I'm not that. Probably not even that now.
All right, gang, that's it. Stop working.
15 minutes is up. Tools down.
We're going to head to our first station, which is dynamic core with Chris
Everybody,
and Shannan.
come down and let's have a look. All right, boys, you had dynamic core. What have you got for us?
We've decided to make a little bench here to do our reverse sit-ups. And then you can then spin around on the bench to then do a standard sit-up, but on the incline as well.
Oh, very good.
Better give us a demo.
Jump on, Chris.
That's good.
So first off, the reverse sit-up.
Yeah.
And you can hold on.
Oh, great. So which area of your abs is that focusing on?
That would be the lower.
Okay.
And then you spin. If you've got a partner, I recommend you have a partner to help you. Lift up the rope, tuck the feet in.
Boys, very good.
And not a chance I'm getting too high with these ones.
So the action's going to be up like that?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Again, come up. All right, cool.
Very good.
So that's pretty tough, yeah? That's going to be a good ab workout,
yeah.
a good progression.
What's over there?
Our second setup was just to do a standard crunch, but rather than just being straight flat on your back, we decided that it would be a bit better if you could put your feet up, just to make it that little bit harder, and then just do normal crunches.
Yeah.
But with your feet elevated.
You know what that does? Elevating your feet. It isolates your abs a bit more and takes these hip flexor muscles out of play. They're always going to want to try and help when you're doing your crunches. So if you elevate your feet like that, you isolate your abs, which is a good idea.
And what are these for?
If you wanted to add extra weight, we've just got one phone book, so you just keep that out.
I love the phone book. The phone book's great.
Two very effective and very efficient dynamic ab and core exercises. All righty, well, let's roll down to back. Next, Rick and Joe.
Okay, green team. What do you got?
We got a little rig up here for back row.
Oh,
That's fantastic.
Now, as a rule, back training is one of the hardest things to do. So a simple pulley like that you can get for a couple of bucks from a hardware shop and rig something like that up.
I can feel your back working.
And you can adjust the weight by adding more or less sand.
Yeah, you just got to have weight in them ones.
Okay, awesome.
Brilliant. Good job. Okay, next one.
Next one here, there's a few different things we can do this. Feet against the wall, leaning over. Now you got the weights to do that one.
Oh, nice.
Or you can hold these.
Oh! Very good.
Which part of your back was that one working?
All lower backs.
So lower back.
Side muscles.
Very good.
Do you think you're going to maintain the shield with this apparatus?
Has to be up there, Michelle. If an omelette can win, well, just never know.
Never know.
It's big words, mate. Big words.
Big words.
We'll see.
Coming up, which couple will rise to the challenge and raise the Masterclass shield?
Today's Masterclass challenge was about using whatever you had around the house to exercise. So you don't need a lot of money and you don't need a lot of time.
Okay, girls, you've got shoulders.
We have. We've gone for the non-construction method. Okay. We've gone for the really quick, the efficient, you know, you've just bought the shopping in approach.
Love it.
You trying to sell this to me or what?
Quick and easy. I like quick and easy. It's always a winner with me, so go for it.
Okay, so our shoulders. First of all, we have these, and you can adjust your weights with the water bottles.
Now, which part of the shoulder is that working, Lisa?
The front.
Okay, good.
So we do those.
And then we move on to, because we actually did three because we wanted to isolate all three parts. And so then this is the...
Oh, good girls. That's what we call an upright row. A very effective way to train the mid part of your shoulders.
Very efficient, boys. Taking note.
And then with this one, we're doing the back of our shoulders.
They're hard, actually.
They are hard, and more weights for the boys, so you just swap sides of your lounge chair.
Yeah.
So that's really important that they've trained each part of the shoulder complex. So many people just go to the gym and do front raises and side raises and forget about the back part.
Posterior.
They always end up with round shoulders again. It's those muscles that open you up. Girls, very comprehensive. Nice work.
Thank you.
You've been trained well.
I'm liking the look at this next one. The boys, chest.
Grey boys, come on. Now, boys, this looks old school to me. All right, so hit us with it.
Well, we've got a bench press here, Michelle, with the water weights here. So I'll get Dave to demonstrate it for us.
Cool.
Make sure I'm nice and comfortable, and it's just simply up and down.
Nice.
Nice work, boys.
Well, in actual fact, if you had different sized buckets, you could make it an incline bench, but...
Yeah, so you could use buckets of water or sand or whatever, couldn't you?
Yep.
And the second one, the old park bench.
So we'll get Phil to demonstrate this one. We've got some dumbbell flies.
Dumbbell flies without the dumbbells.
Without the dumbbells, there's just bottles of water in there so the ladies can lighten them and take more in, or the boys can...
Oh, yeah.
Put it in.
You can adjust it for the girls.
Well, you know, these two exercises are probably the most popular for your chest. A bench press is like a classic basic exercise, and a fly is really good to get that nice expansion through the chest as well.
I know it looks quite funny to do this, but seriously, this is something that I would do. If I got away on holidays, I was staying in an unfamiliar place where there was no gym, genuinely, some of these ideas are things that I'd set up just to do so I could get my workouts done.
It's great. Well done.
Thanks a lot, guys. Next, we have the yellow girls with legs.
Yes.
Well, girls, I have to say, Shannan knows this. Leg training is my all-time favourite training, so I hope you've got something really good for me.
Well, firstly, we've got the tyres. So not only is it focusing on the strength of your legs and increasing that muscle tone, it's also focusing on the endurance and agility as well. So it's basically just like that.
That's the first cardio agility style exercise we've seen, girls. Very nice.
Yeah. My only concern is, Rick, we get your feet inside those. All right, what's the other one? That's great. I love it.
So the second one is the step up, and you can do it with your partner because we always know it's good to have a training buddy. So it's just, yeah.
Up and down.
And if you want to up the intensity,
which we always do here at Camp Biggest Loser,
you put this one on the back.
And then you do the step up.
Demonstration, please.
Oh,
Put your whole foot on,
yeah.
whole foot on, Dale. Put your whole foot on the step. That's better.
Now that's my kind of exercise. Fantastic. So we've got two exercises. Both of them are working legs. The first one, though, is an agility cardio-based exercise.
Yeah.
And then the second one is a real power strength training exercise. It is my favourite training, and you've come up with two good exercises. Give them a clap.
Last but not least, Team Red, training the arms. Let's go. Alrighty, Phoebe and Wayne, you chose arms. What have you got for us?
We've got a tricep zone and a bicep zone. So our first one is tricep dips, like this.
Good.
And then to increase your intensity.
Oh, I like it.
Ow.
Nice work.
Like that.
Now, the most important thing, if ever you're going to do triceps like this, is that the base is wider than the top, so it's not going to roll over on you. So that's really important.
Yeah.
And then we had an option for people who might not be so mobile as that, just to do the simple paint in behind the head and lift.
Oh, tricep pull over.
Really good exercise.
And Wayne's going to do the biceps.
Biceps
You're going to get the guns out, Wayne.
We just went for the men, for the biceps a little bit heavier, and then for the females a little bit lighter.
Why lighter for the females, Wayne?
Yeah, Wayne. Why lighter for females?
Simply an option to build up the intensity, Michelle. But that one, you know, you have to be a little bit careful. It's all about control rather than speed.
Yeah, good. So really important, Wayne, just show me one of those if you're going to do it quickly. See, they're going to swing around. You see the damage that could possibly do to Wayne's arm. So still safe, as long as you do it properly. So slowly down and slowly up. And at the end of the day, no resistance training, unless you're doing Olympic powerlifting, should be done quickly, right?
Yeah, smooth and controlled. Good, I like it. I love the zones. And the 2 exercises that you've chosen for, the arms, you've hit the major muscle groups. I like it.
I like it, but I want to see it in action. You guys now have to complete 1 round of the entire circuit using each and every exercise for those that are fit to do so.
So you've got 2 minutes at each station. You have 1 minute doing 1 exercise while your partner does the other, and then you swap.
Okay, go and get yourself set. You've got 20 seconds to get in and get yourself set.
On your marks, set, go.
Coming up, road testing the new gadgets.
You've designed these exercises. Now prove to us that they work.
Whose stupid design was this one?
Your time starts now. Go and get yourself set. You've got 20 seconds to get in and get yourself set.
On your marks, set, go. Straight into it. You've designed these exercises. Now prove to us that they work.
You never would think that just making your own stuff would give you a workout, and it really did.
Go, Shannon.
The one that probably did the most was Dave and Phil's station. That really worked. I was really tired after doing that one.
All righty, change it over. Starting to huff and puff. I bet you were burning after that minute.
Oh, Shan, we got problems, man.
Just use the big ones, Rick.
That's it.
Caitlin and Dana used agility in it as well, yeah. Had to move as well as use your legs, so it was a good idea.
Toes, you can do it, you can do it. Get up on your toes, mate. That's it, that's it.
Oh, tippy toes.
Oh, well done, mate. So much better with your balance.
It's not easy.
Change. Next station. Let's go.
The station for me was probably Rick and Joe's station.
Oh, whose stupid design was this one?
The back workout really did test some muscles.
Good, 2. What do you think of the boys' sit-up bench?
I don't like it very much.
Pretty effective, though, isn't it? Go again, go.
Come on, push it out.
The most difficult was probably Lisa and Jana's. Even though it was just simple shopping bags filled with water bottles, that really gave my shoulders a workout.
These are tough.
Oh. Everyone move it, let's go, last 5.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
4, 3, last one, 2. That's it, time.
Yeah.
Well done.
Standing there after we did our workout, both me and Rick didn't think we had the Masterclass Challenge Shield this week. We thought Dave and Phil would have won it. I thought theirs was the best, so I was hoping that they would win it.
Contestants, you had no money and very little time. And yet you built a wonderful gym that gives you an old school workout. It's amazing what you can rig up at home if you put your mind to it. Everyone did extremely well, but there can only be one Masterclass winner. So, Shannan and Michelle, what's your decision?
Well, Shannon and I were both impressed with everybody's efforts. Every single exercise worked. They all hit the brief. Simple, effective, and we loved it. I'm a little bit envious, actually. It's sort of a workout I'd be really happy to do.
Not only were we impressed with what you did as far as the exercises, but it shows Michelle and I how much you've learnt about your bodies. Everybody was able to identify which body part they had to work and then hit it with the correct exercise. Our criteria was safe, efficient and effective, which they all were. But the winner today is Caitlin and Dana. Well done.
Caitlin and Dana, congratulations. You've won your very first Masterclass challenge. Let's come up and get your shield.
Well done.
Now, with Masterclass over, the Biggest Loser competition is back on. It's 5 couples against 1, and the group of 5 really have their work cut out for them. But I expect to see some big results come way in. I'll see you then.
Thanks, Bailey.